Where are you?
Muldoon?
Ray, I need you to jump into home range data and tell me where the youngest METRIACANTHOSAURUS is immediately.
Aren't they all in their holding pen?
The galvanized steel has been chewed through. The other two are still inside, but I don't want to make assumptions and go running around through the enclosure until your computer updates me on her location.
Pulling it up now, Muldoon. What timestamp?
I don't know. I was last here at about 10:30 a.m.
Okay. Yeah, I see it now. She passes from the holding pen into the enclosure at 8:39 p.m.
Where is she now?
She heads through the enclosure and down to the river, and by 8:46, she's entered the water and I can't see her until...
Hurry, Ray.
She's at the raptor feeder right now.
Raptor feeder, got it.
Muldoon!
What is it?
Robbie's there.
What?
She's heading for him.
Robbie. Ray, animal out of containment. Send a capture team to the raptor enclosure immediately.
Back.
I've given him a drink, so he should be fine, Ray.
Okay, thank God. What an ordeal for the poor guy.
Oh, don't underestimate Robbie. He's a tough one, Ray.
I'll say.
Did you guys separate those two?
The capture team arrived to find Lady Margaret had gouged the young Metri to death.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's dead.
And have you informed Hammond?
He's still sleeping. I'm not looking forward to telling him, though.
Okay, we'll head over in a little bit. Robbie and I have some catching up to do first.
Okay, I need to get a crane over to them, so I'll see you later, Muldoon.
All right. Bottoms up, Robbie.
I still can't believe I'm sitting here.
Neither can I.
I thought I was finished.
Tell me what happened.
She popped up near the raptor enclosure. 1 second I was on my feet. Next second I was scrambling on the ground. I kept thinking if I had just a few extra seconds, I could have made it to the Jeep and gotten out of there.
When you have to make a decision in a fraction of a second, that's when panic sets in.
I made a break for the trike enclosure. I could hear it moving around me, branches snapping, then nothing.
Silence.
Worse than any noise. Every instinct was telling me to just run.
Good thing you didn't. Almost certainly would have been your demise.
So what would have been the best thing to do?
It depends on the animal. Most lion attacks are bluff charges. Not all, but many.
So stand your ground.
Stand your ground. Make yourself look larger. Back away slowly. Running triggers pursuit.
Right.
Hippo's different. If a hippo decides you're the problem, you've already made several mistakes. They're responsible for more deaths in Africa than all carnivorous predators.
So what do you do with them?
Find an obstacle, tree, termite mound, vehicle, anything that forces it to maneuver.
I heard they're fast.
Faster than you, that's for sure. Bears depend on species. Black bears make noise, stand tall. Grizzlies, sometimes playing dead works.
Sometimes?
Advice gets people killed when they think nature follows set rules. Nature follows probabilities.
And the METRIACANTHOSAURUS?
That's the problem, Robbie. We don't know enough yet.
You always know something.
Not enough to be comfortable. From what I've observed, younger animals are the most dangerous.
More dangerous than the adults?
In some ways, yes. Adults establish routines, territories, preferences, likes, dislikes. You can observe them and gauge some picture of what may or may not work with individual animals.
They become predictable.
Predictable is a strong word when it comes to animal behavior, Robbie. The juveniles, however, are curious, impulsive, constantly testing things.
Including people.
Especially people.
So what should I have done? I started flashing my flashlight.
The torch.
Yeah, in repeated bursts. It seemed to confuse it.
That's consistent with what we've seen.
Really?
The species appears uncomfortable around sudden bright light.
Sensitive vision, maybe?
Possibly.
So the flashlight helped.
Sounds like it did.
It stopped advancing.
Then I'd say you interrupted whatever decision-making process it was going through.
That's a polite way of saying it wanted to eat me.
More likely investigate you.
That's not reassuring.
No.
What about playing dead, Muldoon?
I wouldn't recommend it. Predators investigate carrion all the time.
Right.
Besides, if the animal's curious rather than aggressive, lying motionless simply gives it time to examine you.
That somehow sounds worse.
Hmm.
So stand still, keep the light on, don't run.
That's what I'd try.
Try?
Robbie, nobody on this island has extended experience dealing with METRIACANTHOSAURUS, or any of our animals for that matter.
Good point.
We're all learning. They conduct research over months and months of observation over on Sauna, but the truth is, new behaviors will appear all the time. We're all still learning.
Nearly learned the hard way tonight.
Very nearly.
You sound bothered.
Robbie,
Probably more bothered that the Metri got killed because of me.
if anything, the Metri died because of me. Harding asked me to check on the sick trike, and I delegated that to you. Accidents happen, but the Metri didn't die because of you, Robbie. I'm far more concerned about losing you. I've buried enough men in my career. Tonight could have gone very differently. One wrong turn, one moment of panic, and we'd be having a completely different conversation. Namely, one involving me sending prayers over your grave, if she had left anything of you to bury, that is.
I'm touched, Muldoon. Guess I got lucky.
Luck played a part, but you also kept your head.
Barely.
Doesn't matter, you did. I'm grateful you're still here, Robbie.
I have you to thank for that, Muldoon. That's why I'm constantly picking your brain. Got to hold on to all your teachings.
I was racing to that trike enclosure, and my only thought was how badly this could have ended.
Aw, bring it in, Muldoon.
Get off me.
Okay, we'll work on that.
You're clear, Robbie. Nice and slowly now. Okay, Robbie, just park there for a moment until they see it. Robert Muldoon, Game Warden, Isla Nublar, transportation procedure for the 12th of November, 1991. Here we go. Okay, Robbie, very slowly now. Three juvenile Brachiosaurs being transferred from their holding enclosure to their new home in Sauropod Swamp. They're about 3 years of age and 10 foot at the shoulder, but once fully grown, they'll become our tallest inhabitants here at the park. Like a lot of animals today, their coloration is unique when young, but they are expected to adhere to a full beige hide within a year or so. These girls cannot be contained or airlifted like some of the other animals, so we've decided to simply walk them over. Control has decided that they are of a good age and size now to begin integration into a more permanent home. I've decided it's best to take a service road, otherwise the journey's going to be half a day long. Distance isn't especially far down to the swamp, but with animals this size, even a short walk becomes an operation. One slow, controlled, methodical operation. These exercises are especially important during developmental years. People imagine giant animals are difficult because they can be slow. The challenge is keeping them on task. You can move a nervous carnivore with force if you absolutely must. A frightened sauropod is another matter entirely. Fear spreads through a herd almost instantly. One startles, the others react, and suddenly you've got 40 tons of panicking animal moving without direction. The beacon mounted to the Jeep here is doing most of the work. This is what's called sound conditioning, simple behavioral reinforcement. From hatchling stage onward, they are trained to associate a specific high-frequency wavelength with handler presence. It's a frequency that is inaudible to the human ear, but these girls can definitely hear it. Makes them willing to follow rather than resist. You can see the lead juvenile directly behind the Jeep there, largest of the group, confident temperament. Her name's Bianca. The others are orienting themselves around her automatically. That's herd structure forming in real time. Sauropods establish order surprisingly early in life. Not dominance through violence, more reassurance and movement cues. The rear female keeps drifting left. That's a nervous disposition. She's checking the perimeter every few seconds, likely reacting to unfamiliar terrain outside the enclosure boundary. That's very normal. Animals notice environmental changes immediately. Different sounds, smells, open spaces, things people ignore completely. We'll give them about 20, Robbie, and then restart the beacon. Girls need a break. They don't normally walk this much, so I'm just being mindful of that. Walking them over is useful for inspection purposes too. Best chance you'll get to observe locomotion naturally. Usually, if I drive by their enclosure, they're standing in one location while they strip the leaves off all the surrounding trees. And I'll drive by a few hours later, and they're still in that same location. So waiting for locomotion to take place could take hours. This short walk over to the swamp is my best chance to study their gait. You learn everything from the biomechanics of movement. Best chance to notice if an animal's development is too fast, suboptimal, or wrong entirely. With animals growing this quickly, small problems become big problems very fast. That's the consequence of InGen's accelerated growth programs. Every species here carries modified developmental genetics. Faster maturity, faster mass gain, quicker route to exhibition. Fast-tracking their growth produces adult animals in sometimes half the time it would take them naturally. Problem is, biology doesn't always appreciate shortcuts. Muscles struggle to keep pace with skeletal expansion. Organs compensate under enormous metabolic strain. The genetics lab here is tasked with producing park-ready animals, and the animals are tasked with growing ahead of what their metabolism was designed to handle. And the worst effects will always be seen in the larger of the animals. The larger a species, the greater chance that structural deformities will develop down the line. And I fear some of these girls, especially Bianca, won't reach adulthood without some metabolic or musculoskeletal hindrance due to InGen's rapid growth regimen. It saddens me, but I'm also not naive enough to believe that this park, and all the preserves and zoos I've worked for in the past, could ever viably place animal welfare before profit margins. It's just not a functioning business model. Anyway, at Sauropod Swamp, the apatosaurs should already be in the northern grazing zone. Integration phase begins today. That'll require monitoring for several weeks. Herbivores aren't automatically peaceful simply because they eat plants. Large herd animals establish territory around food, water, and movement corridors. Adult apatosaurs outweigh these juveniles several times over. One defensive tail swing could break a spine. So introductions happen gradually. Visual contact first, shared vocal range next, eventually controlled grazing overlap. You let them become familiar without forcing proximity. That's how proper zoological management works. Slowly, carefully, consistently. The park likes spectacle, but spectacle's the easy part. Keeping animals alive, healthy, stable, that's the real work. Okay, Robbie, playtime's over. Fire her up.
Okay, try it now, Mr. Arnold.
It's all set on my end, Sam, but you'd have to test the controls from the switchboard.
Am I permitted to do so?
Yes, I've granted you permission.
Okay, and Mary and friends are all in the carnival house?
All inside now. I've got eyes on them.
Okay, I'll give the gate a go and radio you if it works.
Radio me if it works or doesn't work, Sam.
Yep, sure thing, Mr. Arnold. What the? Không nghĩ cái lật.